Hey, what's happening, AFL Nation? Anthony Herron back here in pregame of our Arena Football Friday broadcast. And we've been in New Orleans a few times, and I'm joined now by VooDoo owner Dan Newman. We've been involved with the Arena League for a few years now, Dan. But being right here in the New Orleans market, bringing the VooDoo back this season, what was that process like, and why was it important to you to bring the team home?
Well, you know, the VooDoo have always, in the first run in the AFL, been a very storied franchise. People don't realize how big football is in South Louisiana at every level, high school, college, and of course professional. This town is known primarily as a Saints town, and it is. And, you know, obviously we know we're not an NFL team, we're not the Saints. But in the first run here, fans filled the New Orleans arena up. As you know, you've seen it, lots of fans in costumes. The VooDoo logo is the most popular in all of arena football. And so it was just time and it was right to bring the team home. And so September 14th last year, we made that joint announcement with the AFL with Commissioner Jerry Kurz, and it just took off after that. It's been a fun experience for everybody. We're struggling on the field, but the idea is to turn it around, and let me tell you how these people are about their team. We've lost every home game. Every home game, our attendance has gone up by at least 1,000. So they're in it for the long haul, and we are too.
And you mentioned the Saints. Everyone's gotten to know Who Dat Nation from them over the years. The VooDoo kind of have their own nation going, and we see Fan Fest out here behind us, this pregame activity. You get the folks riled up a little bit before coming inside for the game. What are some of the fun things that folks get to do outside?
People in New Orleans are always looking for a party. So all we did was we got the police to block off Girard Street. That's the road right between the Superdome and the New Orleans Arena. And we bring in a band, we bring in food vendors, we bring in adult beverage vendors. Today we have the 41 Nationwide NASCAR out there that is the VooDoo Car. It's been covered nationally the last week, and its driver, Jeffrey Earnhardt, is outside. So before every game, we have 5,000-6,000 people that come out in the heat just to mingle with their friends and get ready for the VooDoo Nation kickoff.
VooDoo Nation is going to see the car actually drive around at halftime of tonight's broadcast. How involved in that process were you? Because you see the VooDoo logo all over his automobile.
I was contacted by Rick Ware, the owner of that team, who a close friend of mine is a close friend of his and a business associate of his, and they're involved. And my buddy said, hey, we're looking for a national sponsor for Jeffrey. We got a great logo. Why don't we brand the car the VooDoo Car? And of course, he and Jeffrey Earnhardt saw our logo and just went nuts about it. Last Friday night on the Nationwide race on, I believe it was ESPN, national television, Jeffrey wrecked his car. And so the broadcast team had 5 minutes of caution to talk about what he was going to do to replace his car. They showed the car on national television and talked about it being revealed here tonight in New Orleans. So it's a real exciting thing. It's just one more extra added thing for our fans.
We know how big racing is in this part of the country. The VooDoo Nation is going to get to see that car live at halftime of tonight's broadcast. Thanks a lot for your time, Dan.
Thank you for being here.